Hi, my name is Anna. I am a certified nutritionist and founder of Omni Nutritions. Today I want to talk about quite a big topic. I want to talk about what are macros and why you should care about them. Whether you're a pro at tracking macros or you have no clue what I'm talking about, this is the video for you to understand all the basics and also understand why it is so important if you are serious about weight loss or any type of fitness goals at all. So some basic info about macros. Macros are essentially macronutrients. They are namely carbohydrates, protein, and fats. These three macronutrients are sources of energy for our bodies, and we need them in large quantities every day, hence they are called macro. Our body actually uses the macronutrients in a specific order of preference. First off, we use carbohydrates, followed by fats, and lastly, protein. Each gram of carbohydrate and each gram of protein will provide your body with 4 calories, and each gram of fat will provide your body with 9 calories. Besides providing our bodies with energy, macronutrients actually also have a lot of other functions. Let's talk about carbohydrates first. When we digest carbohydrates, they will be broken down into glucose, and glucose is actually the only fuel our brain can use, which is why carbohydrates are so important if we want to make sure that our brain is being fueled properly and can function on a day-to-day basis. Depending on the types of carbohydrates you consume, it will also affect how quickly they convert into glucose. Hence, it will affect your blood glucose level and also your insulin level, which is the hormone that helps you absorb and use the glucose. Most people associate carbohydrates with starchy foods like your grains, breads, potatoes, but actually carbohydrates exist in so many natural foods that you might not have thought of. Glucose is one form of carbohydrate that exists in all of your sugary foods and sugary drinks, and fructose is also a form of carbohydrate that exists in all of your fruits, and that is what gives your fruits a sweet flavor. And not to forget, we still have lactose, which is also carbohydrate, and that exists in all your dairy products, your milk, cheese, yogurt. Carbohydrates really do exist in a lot of your natural food sources, and this is something that a lot of us might not be aware of. Our body's next preferred source of energy is fats. Fat is essential to our health because it helps us absorb and transport fat-soluble nutrients. For example, your fat-soluble vitamins. These are your vitamins A, D, E, and K. High-fat foods also have a higher satiety value and they keep you more satisfied after your meal. The types of fats we consume is going to affect our blood cholesterol level and also our long-term health. If we consume a lot of saturated fats, for example, both our good cholesterol and bad cholesterol level will increase. If we consume a lot of trans fat, on the other hand, our good cholesterol level will decrease and our bad cholesterol level will increase, which over time will give you a higher risk in a lot of cardiovascular diseases. Lastly, we have protein. There are 20 amino acids that make up protein. 9 of them are essential amino acids, which means our body cannot generate them and we have to consume them from our diets directly. Protein is known to be the building blocks for our muscle mass, but actually protein is also a building block for a lot of other structures in our bodies. For example, protein makes up collagen, which is very important for our skin's elasticity, and protein also make up keratin, which is important to our hair and nail structures. What you also might not know is that protein make up our hormones. In fact, insulin is a protein hormone. And these hormones are essentially chemical messengers that go around our body and send signals for our body to maintain its daily function. Blood proteins also make up antibodies, which are essential to our immune systems fighting incoming bacteria. Now, besides all of the above structures that protein plays a big part in, protein also helps us regulate our body fluid balance and acid-base balance. Basically, we cannot live without protein. Now that you know some basics about the 3 macronutrients, let's talk about why they are so important and why so many people out there are tracking macros. A lot of trainers, nutritionists, and even your fitness apps nowadays are telling you to track macros instead of counting calories. So let's take a deeper look into why tracking macros is such a popular approach. First of all, tracking macros is actually already counting your calories. If you've taken high school algebra or even middle school algebra, then you'll know that if carbohydrate equals 4 calories per gram and protein equals 4 calories a gram and fat equals to 9 calories per gram, then If you have all three inputs, you will know the output, which is your daily calorie consumed. But what calories counting won't do for you is to tell you where your calories are coming from, which is a problem for a lot of people eating at a calorie deficit and not losing weight. Check out this video where I talked about the 5 reasons why you're eating at a calorie deficit but not losing weight. So back to counting macros, what it can do for you is to actually tell you that, for example, 50% of your calories today came from carbohydrates, 30% came from protein, and 20% came from fat. In theory, counting calories by itself should be sufficient for you if you have a goal weight to reach, if you're just trying to lose weight, gain weight, or maintain a specific weight. But what will be really difficult is a body recomposition, where you're trying to increase your lean body muscle mass or decrease your body fat percentage. In a lot of studies and actual practices out there, tracking macros is a much more efficient way for you to reach your fitness goals in terms of body composition. Now, the second thing that makes it so popular is this concept called if it fits your macros, or if you look it up online, IIFYM. This approach is a flexible dieting where it basically has no restriction whatsoever as long as the food you eat fits your macros. What it means is if you have a specific macro goal of how many grams of carbs, protein, and fats, it doesn't care what foods you eat as long as you meet those numbers. A lot of people find that it is much more enjoyable because they can eat any foods that they want, and also it is easier to stick to compared to a traditional meal plan where there is a specific list of foods to eat. The third reason, which is also my personal favorite reason for tracking macros, is that it is truly an educational experience and it could be eye-opening. You actually won't believe what you're able to learn from tracking macros until you actually do it yourself. I used to watch, and I still watch, a lot of these fitness influencer videos, and they show you what I eat in a day, and after every little meal or snack they put down their macros in the bottom. The numbers used to make zero sense to me, and I couldn't understand why anyone would care about those numbers unless he or she is trying to copy the meals exactly. But after I started tracking my own macros, I saw the value in these videos, that they actually give you a lot of inspiration in terms of different cuisines, dishes, meals, or even snacks that could fit in your macros. And in some ways, I also picked up a lot of tips and tricks in terms of how I can estimate my macros if I'm eating out. The last reason for tracking macros is to really understand what suits your body the best. Different body types actually react to different macronutrients differently. You might have a friend that is in love with the keto diet, which is super high in fat and super low in carbs, and they are thriving, they're killing it at the gym lifting weights every day, whereas your other friend could be just cutting down on carbs slightly, and every day they just feel sluggish, they have no energy whatsoever, and they just want to eat bread. Without going into the science, the point is all our bodies are different and there is no one golden macro formula that would fit everyone. So tracking macros is actually a great learning phase for you to learn your body and actually figure out what works best for you in terms of energy level and supporting your workout routine. Now, I did mention very briefly in my blog post about the 3 different body types, but if you want to know more and actually learn how to find out about your own body type and what you should be eating, then let me know in the comments below, and if enough of you are interested, I might make a video about it next time. So at the end of the day, should you or should you not track macros? I personally think that no one should be tracking macros for the rest of their lives. Also, there is no need to do that. Once you go past the learning phase, it actually becomes quite intuitive, where you can look at your plate of food and know roughly how much of each macronutrient you are consuming. That being said, if you have a very specific fitness goal, a specific body fat percentage that you are trying to reach, then I would strongly suggest that you invest time and effort into tracking your macros. And the easiest way to do it is through a tracking app, for example, MyFitnessPal. I will close this video on the last note that tracking macros shouldn't be the only approach that you adopt. This whole tracking macro approach actually does not take into account micronutrients, which are all extremely important for our body functions and health. The easiest way for you to stay on track is to make sure that most of your macronutrient consumption is coming from real whole foods instead of processed foods. By focusing on reaching your macro goals and also consuming real and nutritious foods, I'm sure you'll be able to achieve your fitness goals and also reach your optimal health. You can visit the full blog post with the link in the description box below. Here are all of my social links. I would love for you to subscribe and follow me for future content relating to nutrition and health. See you next time.